Bam, 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 bam. Hey,
There we
hey,
go.
hey,
There we
hey.
go. Yes, sir.
Welcome in.
Yes,
Hold
sir.
on, I gotta see what's on your sign here. I'm all fogged up. Let me hit that.
Uh, it's a tribute to a lost wrestler.
R.I.P. R.I.P. I did see that for the weekend. Take this off so I can stop fogging up my glasses. Thank you guys for joining us. Apologies for the delay. Some weather-related issues here in normally sunny San Diego. But,
Tony, you're full of shit. It
yeah,
is raining in Southern
damn
California.
lie. That was a damn lie. But we are here. It's relatively dry in the tent, but I may have to go for a towel, or I got an umbrella here just in case it gets real
There you go.
in the field.
There you go.
Did want to give you guys, the QK weather update. Studio conditions, wind coming out of or coming from the southwest, I should say, 10 miles an hour northeast. Humidity 79%. It is currently raining. Slight drizzle now, but it was quite a bit more earlier. 49 degrees.
What's the dew point?
I don't have the dew point. You see the board.
Oh,
You see the board.
Come
Visibility
on.
10 miles. Playing surface wet and fast. So expect to see some wild plays out there. Favors the defense.
True. Yes. Yeah.
And
It'll be an old school game. It'll be an old school game here.
But this is power streaming.
Yep.
Just up the gut. Thank you guys for hanging with us. Nick coming in. Of course, look at mosquitoes on a rainy day. Wash them out of here. R.I.P. Luke Harper. Hashtag Wyatt family.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. Let's get to it real quick here because we're a little bit late. But like I said, thank you. I think I saved it by like 30 seconds also when it became clear that I was going to have to reschedule the time. Because if you miss it by like 9 minutes or something, they just cut you off of Facebook. So I'm glad we're on Facebook. Hope you guys are having a good Monday. If you're in San Diego, definitely wet. Had pretty bad traffic because no one knows how to drive in the rain in San Diego. One accident I got stuck behind, and then Waze was taking me all over the place. But other than that, the other good thing is the flip side is when you're at work in San Diego and it rains, people don't want to go outside and come to your work. So
there you go.
Slow day.
There you go.
Tyler, how was your Monday? Especially, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Got to watch a lot of sports. Kind of just mostly just stayed inside, kind of hung out. But all in all, it was a solid, relaxing weekend. How was your weekend?
It was nice. Definitely had a solid, like all day red zone yesterday.
Yeah, buddy.
Saturday was unfortunate. I did get to see most of the Raider game. We'll get into that. But it's okay. It's all good. I'm just counting down the days until the draft. Just waiting for that draft. But better now that I'm here relatively dry with you guys in the outside Fortress studio. That also, Nick, in response to your comment, it was slightly flooded out. There was some water issues. I mean, the ground is still incredibly wet. You saw the playing surface is playing very wet and fast right now.
Definitely.
But, trying to keep the electronics dry became a little bit of a debacle. So we're back. We're pretty much dry. Yes. There were some complications. Producer T, you're supposed to be producing this.
Yes,
we need more tent.
Can
we get a bigger tent to go over this tent because we were having all kinds of hell out here.
You need that. Need that tentception out there.
Yeah, I need a tent within a tent. That doesn't make any sense. But some people think it's a good move for some reason. Couple things just right off the top. Tyler pointed this out to me today. That today is, I believe, what, the 15th? 17th anniversary of possibly one of the greatest NFL radio announced calls of all time, which is the Viking. I mean, Paul Allen is still doing it for the Vikings.
Paul Allen's awesome. He's awesome. He's great.
He is, let's just say, prone to losing his shit a little bit. Still, never change, Paul. But a famous game in NFL playoff lore as the Cardinals eliminated the Vikings on not the last play of the season.
Yes.
And I have for you, we can't play the video, so I just kind of whacked it together as like a slideshow. But we do have the full audio. So sit back and enjoy the very calm, measured, dulcet tones of Paul Allen as this went down 17 years ago today.
17, 16, 15.
See, they have to go deep into the end zone.
We better put some people in the end zone, right, Joe?
That's exactly right.
I mean, there's nobody inside the 10.
Get back, guys.
Here it is. The season's on the line. 2 receivers left and right. McCown takes the snap. He steps up. He's all by himself. Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No! No! The Cardinals have knocked the Vikings out of the playoffs. I believe it was caught by Nate Poole. He's being mugged by his Cardinal teammates. They're Minnesota Vikings crying on the field.
Still one of the best I've ever heard. I
So
gotta
good.
say,
So good.
touchdown! No! No!
It's the anger in the second no that makes it so good.
Yeah. Also at the beginning, I mean, NFL radio announcers really go pretty hard. Most of them they're like the rooting in the press box thing, the homerism that goes out the window. Like that's part of the charm.
Oh yeah.
NFL radio announcers, but get back, guys! We need some guys in the end zone. They got to throw in the end zone.
Hey, look, he wasn't wrong. He's not wrong. They got to get back.
He wasn't wrong. I mean, it was a heck of a catch and throw, but maybe have some guys deeper, and then as you go, definitely go look up the video. It's readily available on YouTube. But this picture here always makes me laugh. The Vikings guy, head in hands with the hat, painted face guy standing. I don't know if he's just dead on his feet right there. A lot of sad Vikings fans, just confused. Shout out to the guy in the Woodson jersey right there, Raider fan. We always pop up just everywhere. Everywhere there is misfortune on this earth, there will be a Raider fan there in the picture throughout time. I think that goes back to the 4th century or something like that.
Wood carvings of just sad Raiders fans.
Yeah, some guy with spiked shoulder pads on, and they're just they're at Mount Vesuvius. Yeah, I don't how did that guy get here? We're always there. Where there's misery, we will be there. But the head and hands guy, and all the Cardinals fans hugging. Can't believe what they just saw. But and also the painted face guy cracks me up in the Moss jersey.
Yeah, that was I was telling you, I don't remember if it was on Jason Smith on ESPN Radio or if it was on SportsCenter, but just the first time I heard that call, it was just absolute hilarity, just laughing for 5 minutes straight. It just one of my all-time favorite NFL calls ever.
Touchdown! No! Hey, it's that time of year, all right? It's the wacky season. When like they say on Red Zone, the witching hour. It's like the witching week or two, especially in the NFC East.
Oh, for sure.
Where almost anything is in play, unfortunately, except for the Eagles, who were eliminated yesterday.
They're now out, yes.
Also get into. Actually, let's go right into the football. I'll try to power through this a little faster than usual, just to get to a couple odds and ends to wrap up the show. But Saturday, yes, we did have 3 Saturday games, as the NFL loves to do. Covered the whole day. They had one on Christmas Day, but then they pretty much got you wall to wall on Saturday. Tampa Bay takes care of business. It's the Lions. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Brady looked pretty good. Evans had a great game in my last place fantasy game. Thank you, Mike Evans. I think he had 40 points. Awesome. Actually, in the Intercom, the radio station league, I scored 211 points in the last place game.
That's good time for your guys to finally show up.
Yeah, where was this all season? Great, but the thing is, at least I was playing Scraby, friend of the program, Scraby, previous guest here, and did also golf with him earlier in the week, so it was satisfying to at least have that in a season that is lost. I was texting Tyler and Justin. We may hear from a little bit later, and Scraby. I was like, well, I kind of felt like that guy in 300, just kicking you into the pit of like real last place. Like I'm standing on the level of, 11th place, but I just kicked you into a bottomless pit of 12th place.
Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that to Rosemary Scraby, fool? Why you gotta do that?
Rosemary Scraby. 49ers kind of really throwing a wrench in the Cardinals' playoff hopes, pulling off a nice win. Tough day for their kicker, but other than that, I know tonight, producer I was having a little bit of a fit over the poor kicking performance there, but their defense really just balled out. I mean, I gotta say, there's a lot of teams really in the AFC, but some in the NFC, I guess in this case, the 49ers. I mean, they really just kind of stumbled out of the gate because everyone just kept getting hurt. Yeah. Defense is still good, though. I mean, they were causing all kinds of problems for Murray. And you got to think they would just be running away with the NFC East at this point. But unfortunately, they don't play in that division.
Oh, there's tons of teams that would be running away with the NFC East. But
yes.
yeah, I mean, look, we've said it all year. Like, despite all the injuries, the Niners, they haven't laid down in any game this year. They've been playing tough. They came out and they put it to Kyler Murray in that offense. And now I'd have to take a look at the scenarios again, but I think Arizona, I don't think their destiny's in their hands right now. I think they need to win. They need somebody else to lose.
I believe, that pushes them down into the needs help category. Yeah. They're not eliminated, but it's going to be a tough road from there. And speaking of needing help, that takes us to the Raider game. Wow.
What a segue. What a pro.
I mean, just from the neutral fan perspective, which I'm not in this case, but the last 4 minutes of that game was unlike many. I've never really seen anything like that.
It was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, the Raiders defense, you just can't count on them. And listening to Gruden, the theory was, and I highly disagree with this because of what he said, but he was looking at what happened in the Chiefs game. They left too much time, so they were down on the 6-yard line on second down with about 2 minutes left. Jacobs runs right up to the goal line and does the what was supposed to be what happened in the Falcons game. Yeah, falls at the 1. They keep running the clock. They don't go. They actually kick it on third down for the field goal, and then proceed to. Oh man! All right, so they give up a 30-yard pass play to the sideline, which should be the only part of the field that you're taking away. Don't let anyone get out of bounds. If they throw the ball in the middle of the field, maybe they got 2 plays. Because we're talking about 26 seconds here. So not only do they have a guy just standing wide open, 30 yards down the field on the sideline, ready to catch it and go out of bounds easily, but also roughing the passer. They ripped off, Fitzmagic's whole head.
He pulled a Linda Blair. His head just went fully in a circle on that play.
I'm not going to lie. Separating, just the Raider fan from the football fan, can't be mad to see a crazy Fitzmagic play like that because it looked I mean, from what I could see, he could see this guy was just clearly I just got to throw it to the area because that's how open he is. But before he even lets go of the ball, his helmet's already turned around sideways, and he just heaves it, nails the guy, and then the penalty just puts him right in field goal range. So I was trying to think in the last 15 years, the really dark times for the dark side Raider fans, how many worst blown games there have been. But I was, kind of realizing, they haven't really blown a lot of games in that time because they just sucked in that time. So that would imply that they had a late lead or something, which they haven't really had, too often if we're looking in the context of the last 15 years. But that was insane. And just lets me further know that I am ready for the draft. I'm done with this season. They should have never played it. Call it off.
Yeah, I mean, look, as a Chargers fan, I was impressed with the creativity of how the Raiders blew that. That was, I mean, I'm sure Anthony Lynn was looking back, kind of taking notes on it, okay, maybe we can try this next year. But I mean, just so many questions of okay, I get wanting to kill the clock, but like you could have gone for it on third down. Like worst case scenario, you get stuffed and then you kick the field goal. Like I would rather have the touchdown and make the other team have to score a touchdown instead of kick the field goal and then they just got to kick the field goal. Like kind of mind-boggling there.
Explanation from Gruden to me was, yes, against the Chiefs, do that. All right.
Absolutely.
Like,
yes.
But that's the Chiefs. Like it's
right.
the Dolphins we're talking about. So just try to get a bigger lead. Your defense is probably still going to let them into field goal range, even without the penalty and the miraculous like face getting ripped off play. But make it. I mean, they still don't have that much time. They don't have any timeouts. Like, take the points. You still have a couple shots at it.
And I also think, looking at it from the Miami side now, do you got a quarterback controversy? Because like Tua's been okay, but he throws the short pass every time. Like I don't know if they're telling him to do that, if that's his choice, but it's put them in some holes. And now Fitzmagic comes in there, and he's shown he's not afraid to let it fly.
Even if he can't see, or like Justin said, if he's looking through his ear hole, he will sling it.
Yeah, so I do kind of wonder, like, look, Fitzmagic shouldn't have lost the job. Tua hasn't really done anything to keep the job. I almost like I mean, all year I've said they should have just stuck with Fitzmagic, but like now with the playoffs coming on, I think you got to go with him. I think you got to tell Tua, like, look, man, you're gonna sit back and learn, but we want to win now. Like they've already got a top 5 draft pick thanks to Houston. They've already got a number 3 draft pick, and they're going to be in the playoffs. So I really think they got to go with Ryan Fitzpatrick now.
Well, and I think they've already put themselves in kind of a weird spot when they made the initial change to get Tua in there, because they weren't like in dead last place. They were still playing pretty well.
They were like 3-3, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see any of those as being like on Fitzpatrick. Their defense was playing well, but hadn't quite reached the heights that it had reached over the course of the season. And then now we've already seen twice where Tua starts, gets benched in the game. Well, the first time it didn't work out. They try to get
came up
Magic
short,
to start the comeback, but I mean, he kind of did. And now, like, where do you go? I'm kind of inclined to agree with Tyler. If you're really looking at a playoff run, then just go with the steady hand. But then what does that really do to Tua or his, mind state? I don't know. So I get that you wanted to look at this guy, just see what you have now instead of waiting, 2-3 years and then find out, oh, maybe the injury thing was worse than we thought, or maybe he's got other issues. But you kind of made this bed, so it's going to be awkward, I think, for the Dolphins as far as the quarterback room goes.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll see what they do. They're sitting in a good position right now. Like, there's not a lot of scenarios where they don't like. They still haven't actually clinched a playoff spot. It's not a case where they need to win and get in, but a win guarantees them a spot. I mean, again, they can lose and still a few things happen. They still make it. But I mean, I just think you got to go with Fitzpatrick. You got to go with Fitzpatrick right now. Get you into the playoffs, let them play the playoffs, and then figure out what you want to do with the offseason.
It's just pretty weird to see that, though. Like, all right, we're going to switch over to the rookie. Usually you're in, like, some kind of hole. All right, we're just going to start him the rest of the year. And then he's the one that, drives the comeback. All right, cool, you just stay with him. But they just kind of threw him out there. He had some decent games, some rookie mistake type of things. And then benching him, unbenching him, he starts the next game. Like, now it becomes awkward. So I don't know what they're doing with that. But that's a little something to think about going forward. For Dolphins fans out there, Chris Ello, big fan of the program, I'm sure.
There you go.
I just really wanted to troll Ello and have the Raiders beat him, but you couldn't even give me that. Give me that.
Can't have it. You can't have nice things.
Anyway, moving on. Let's leave that in the past. Let's focus on the draft. We're looking forward, not backward. Well, for now, we're looking backward to Sunday. But moving to Sunday, Falcons. Man, they Falcons pretty damn hard in this one. Their defense did hold down the super mega high-powered Chiefs offense. Kind of ran into one of those, left them a little too much time, but the Falcons went right back down the field. I mean, if anything, the questions that have still been out there all season about the Chiefs' defense are still very much there.
Sure.
But then Younghoe Koo, just the Falcons factor kicked in, and he missed a bunny that would have tied the game, and that was it.
Yeah, well, it was. I think like right before the kick, they put up the, has made 27 consecutive field goals. And it's like, as soon as you see that, it's like, don't put that on the air. Don't do that unless you're really trying to curse the guy.
Yeah, if you're a Falcons fan watching that at home, you probably threw up in your mouth a little bit when you saw that go up. Like, why you got to do that? We don't need to see that right now. It's not the time.
But also not to mention that on Kansas City's game-winning drive, they also dropped a surefire pick in the end zone as well. That might have sealed the deal. Maybe, who knows? But I mean, it's in a way they falced it, in a way they didn't, because like you've said so many times, like Kansas City, they can score in seconds. Like you expect them to score every drive. So you can't like really say it's a full Falcons thing because it's part of a Chiefs thing too. But they definitely had their Falconsing moments.
And at least as the offense is concerned, I mean, certainly questions about the defense going forward. But I just still kind of feel like the offense is just going through the motions right now. They already know they got the 1 seed. Well, I guess that sealed it. But
they seem bored.
They're kind of bored. Just like, all right, when do the playoffs start? Let's just do that. We're going to score 45 points a game. Like, we'll just do Chiefs things. But, we'll see what happens, especially with the defense. Speaking of teams that somehow still are not in the playoffs, the Browns.
Oh, God.
Wow. Lose to the Jets. And now I'm rooting for the Jets. My bet is already burnt up, torn up.
Sure.
It's ruined. But this was such a weird game because you feel like both teams lost. The Browns have the longest active streak of not making playoffs. Still alive because they are not
still
in the
have
playoffs
it
yet.
They do, yes.
And the Jets, Adam Gase is just – he's trying to win out these 3 games. I think he already knows he's 1 foot out the door. And the players, like we said, the players are not going to not try to win.
Right.
I know there was
they can't afford it.
Awkwardness as far as social media. Yeah, exactly. Like, even if I'm not on the Jets in 2 years, like, I still don't have a job in the NFL. Like, I need to get tape out there. But this was a head scratcher because now there goes Trevor Lawrence. I don't think there's any way for them to get back into the number 1 spot.
There's not. Jacksonville has clinched it.
Jacksonville has clinched it with their solid losing by 29 points. Yes. And they even had the little craftiness of sort of making it interesting in the first, we'll just say like 25 minutes of the game.
Sure.
But then the Bears just put their phone down. So Bears, man, crazy hot streak right now too. They're coming. That was just insane to me. Like, the Jets lost maybe 10 years, a setback for their franchise if Lawrence turns out to be the truth. And the Browns still try, even if this has been, incredible season for them. I even turned around my thoughts. Like, I don't know how for real they were. Yes, they had a lot of injuries, especially with the receivers, but you got to be beating the Jets, man. I mean, you just got to be beating that team, especially if you have a chance to like get in the playoffs for the first time in forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've still got a 2-headed monster in the running back core. I know you don't got your top 4 receivers, whatever, but like you still just can't lose to the Jets. Like, your defense, can't really be giving up 22 points to a team that doesn't really score that often. It's going to be tough for Cleveland. I know I mentioned this to you and Justin, a few other people this week, and with Cleveland losing, it's possible that, and I haven't gone through the scenarios yet, or I haven't got through the scenarios, so I don't know exactly who would be out, but it's possible that Cleveland, Indianapolis, Miami, and, oh God, who's the other team? There's one other team, Baltimore, all have 11 wins, and one of them will miss the playoffs, which is insanity.
Yeah, and that's the stark difference between the AFC playoff scenario and, like you said, one of these NFC East teams is going to get a home playoff game.
With a sub.
Speaking of those Colts, totally nutted up against
they did
freaking Steelers, which I hate the Steelers. I was rooting for the Colts, and now you play yourself back into a we're not in yet situation. They were dominating in the first half of that game. The Steelers looked like the Steelers have looked for the last 3 weeks, just kind of disorganized. I mean, Tyler, you and I and Justin were laughing that they, for some reason, on like the 2-yard line, like 2nd and goal, just pass it 3 straight times, including on 4th down, 3 incomplete passes. Like, just try to run it. Like at one of those times, if you're already thinking you're gonna go for it on 4th down, run it. Like, see what happens. Like, you can get that 2 yards probably, but they, just let up off the gas. Steelers come back, much to my chagrin.
Yeah, Chris, Steelers, look, that second half is the best they've looked in a long time. And I'm not just talking about the 3 previous losses. I'm talking even like the 4 wins, even like the 4 wins before that. They looked terrible in most of their games. That second half is the best they've looked in a long time. So, we'll see if they can keep it going, carry it over. But, Indianapolis just put themselves into a rough spot when they had essentially had a playoff spot clinched. But, yeah.
And had a playoff spot clinched at halftime. So that's a tough look. I just real quick, because it made me laugh, I want to go back to the Browns. Justin's got a comment there. Hey, I have 3 wide receivers out and 2 of the best running backs in the league. I'm going to pass it 54 times. Signed Kevin Stefanski, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was head scratching.
Yeah.
We mentioned the Bears coming on strong right now. I mean, yes, it's the Jags. Perfect time to play the Jags. They have no interest in winning, and
who is the Bears offense? Who is this Bears offense?
It's the new improved Trubisky, man.
Man, they look like the typical Bears, which just like their offense is terrible. They rely on their defense to win games. But the last 5 weeks, their offense has turned up. So it's maybe Mitch is the truth.
Truth Bisky strikes again. Ravens take care of business over the Giants, New York Football Giants, throwing that NFC East further into disarray, and also the AFC just total playoff picture, as Tyler alluded to, because you might have a team with 11 wins not get in. And the Giants still may get in with their sorry-ass record and their 250.
Yes, they could be 6-10 and hosting a playoff game.
257 points they scored this season, and they could host a playoff game. That's 15 games of NFL football, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
That would have to be a record for point differential that makes the playoffs. That would have to be.
Yeah, I would say so, because, that's almost 100. And, hopefully they get some points on the board next week. We'll see. But a lot of interesting things to unpack here is you see football team at an even 315 and 315, still sitting in first place. And the Cowboys giving up 450 points this season and tied for first place. What is even happening right now?
Yeah, so we'll just give the quick tiebreak scenario is if Washington wins, they win the division. If they lose, then the winner of the Cowboys-Giants game wins the division. So fairly simple. That's why the Washington game has been flexed to prime time. We got that Washington Eagles in prime time for week 17. So
yes,
NFC East, baby. It's the biggest shit show, but we've said all year, we're here for it.
And just to kind of stay on that topic, we're gonna have to blow through some of these games because I do have a couple things at the end I want to talk about. But today it did come down. Dwayne Haskins has been released. That was their first pick 2 years ago, and now he has been released. But definitely going through some things. Last night's press conference debacle, just being the latest in a long line of things. I did tweet this out over the weekend. I was just searching Haskins, and these are the first 3 things that come up: Haskins strippers, Haskins trash. So that's kind of how it's going for Dwayne right now. Not great, but football team just constantly bungling. That's constantly bungling. But hopefully he gets. He gets his shit together. He seemed like like we said, if Ryan Leaf is saying it's like looking in a mirror, that's ultimate. That's like 20,000 red flags. Hire somebody. There's still time. You're still young. Do the opposite of whatever you're doing right now. Do the opposite. Just you have time.
Yeah.
But now,
whatever that thought pops into your head. Whatever that first thought is that has popped in your head that you've been following your whole life.
Do the opposite of that first impulse.
Yep.
Moving down. Let's see. Chargers. Your Chargers getting a win over the Broncos.
Looking like trash against the Broncos as always, but at least they got the win this time.
got the dub. As we mentioned, football team loses. Haskins got benched in that game. Just tough, man. I mean, I hope he gets his act together. I'm not just rooting for him to like fail as a person, but
Right.
a tough spot for the football team right now for sure, and him in his career. Dallas getting the big win over the Eagles. Sorry, Amanda, who was at the game. We tried to watch it and kept her on TV, but it became clear after like 20 minutes that her seats were too good to even get on TV, which is like the most rich people problem I've ever heard, because she was like 9 rows up on the 50-yard line behind the Cowboys bench, but you're not really going to get on camera as a fan unless you're in the end zone, it seems like.
Right.
And also Fox, I don't know how I feel about the focus thing. Kind of get it. It's a cool cinematic effect, but I just sort of feel like the whole point of having these cool like HD/4K cameras and TVs is that when you go to that field camera, you can see everything. They were just doing that weird like video game effect. I mean, it was kind of a novelty. They were still obviously working it out though, because some of the replays they had to show like going to commercials and stuff. The person that scored the touchdown was blurry, and it was like full focus on some random like lineman like patting him on the back of the head, like, oh, okay, well, you got some kinks to work out there. But it was sort of divided from what I saw on Twitter. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I thought it was a little confusing. Rams, LOL Rams, I hate you guys. You ruined my bet. I'm glad that you suck. Get out of here. You're trash. I never want to see you again.
Yeah,
and then in the nightcap, speaking of stompings,
Green Bay look good, man. They look good. Look, all year we've kind of gotten on about how they haven't looked good in a lot of games, but man, they look good. Devontae Adams is just unreal. Like he's in our text with you, me, and Justin last night. He brought the point like, how is this guy just always open? Always, doesn't matter. Even though there were a couple throws where he was covered very well and still made the catch. But Devontae Adams, that dude's just unreal. Valley
the
strong.
fact that he can consistently get 2 and sometimes 3 touchdowns a game, when he's a clear-cut number 1 receiver that Rodgers is looking for. Like I said, at a certain point, you got to be impressed by some of that's Rodgers, doing his Rodgers thing, sort of running around, extending plays. They obviously have a connection where Adams can run back or get into the open spot against the coverage, but he's like the anti-DeAndre Hopkins, who seems like he's always in double and triple coverage and still catches it somehow.
Yeah, that was again very impressive showing by the Packers. Tennessee, they haven't clinched a spot either. I mean, if they win this week, they win their division. Or if Indianapolis loses, then Tennessee wins the division automatically. But they could find themselves on the outside if they lose and Indy wins. They gotta put their stuff together for another week.
The AFC is real, man, and the NFC is real underwhelming. But I guess Packers probably like Super Bowl favorites out of the NFC at this point. I think
so.
They would beat the Saints if they played at this point. But couple more comments here just to get from our NFC East insider, of course. Justin riding high off his Cowboys win. Dwayne Trashkins. I would also have accepted Dwayne Trashcan just because it's funny.
There you go.
Man, it's 2020. We still have NFL players acting rebellion in the script club. Come on, people, get it together. Roger said he didn't want me going to the script club anymore. And taking a shot at Amanda, 9 rows up, watching her season end. Oof.
Ouch.
Oof. and the last one for that Packers game. Maybe DBs just think Adams has COVID. 6 feet. It takes all of us.
Could be.
Doing their part out there by not apparently ever trying to defend Devontae Adams. But that just kind of wraps up the NFL. One last thing, we had the Monday night game, and the Patriots just got mollywopped, and Cam Newton, that MGM of all people, just taking a shot. They had this graphic of his daily routine schedule. Alarm goes off, leaves house. We're talking in the wee hours here, 4:20 in the morning, 4:30, first sip of coffee, 8 a.m., getting benched at 10:15 p.m.
Yeah, I think that must have just gone foul because Corey texted me, which tells me that he officially won our fantasy football championship. So I'm guessing that was final. But it was, hey, look, my team didn't show up this week. No excuses, no complaints. But I know that was a pretty big deficit. I think it was like 38-9 last I saw. So I think the Bills got that one wrapped up.
A couple of quick things. We have a couple minutes left here. This was one of the more hilarious outcomes of the weekend in the NBA. The Clippers with the biggest deficit at halftime in the shot clock era. Wow. I mean, it's really only chubby Luka out there doing it to you. I think their second leading scorer was freaking Ibaka. So I don't know what you guys are doing over there.
So here's a funny stat about this game. If the Mavericks didn't take a single shot in the second half, they win the game by 4.
I mean, 27 points and a half of professional basketball is staggering. That is unbelievable. But hey, as I pointed out, it's they're LA's team now. Driven over to LA our way.
Yeah, like I know that
really
Kawhi
winning the hearts and minds of LA there, Clippers.
I know that Kawhi's sad, but Paul George is not doing himself any credit by having this type of game when he's the guy on the court.
Oh man! All right, Justin's got one on that game. Mavericks scored half as many points as the Giants have all year.
That's true.
That's factually correct.
Yes.
But circling back to the Cam thing, just because I love the comment. Hold on, let me take the scoreboard off here.
Let's see it.
They left off, picks out a hat, which covers pretty much the whole 8 a.m. through 1 p.m. block.
Hey, man's got a lot of hats.
If he's stepping out, he's going to be looking good.
Exactly.
Last thing, just to touch on the MLB hot stove. Padres getting active. They are finally going in, cashing in on some of these coveted prospects as the rain begins to fall here in the Terror Dome. Which, we had the Preller bomb earlier in the season. He was pulling off Preller bombs, and it looks like he pulled off another one today. He looks like such an unassuming guy in his T-shirt and cargo shorts with his cell phone, always working the phone. But they do go ahead and make a trade to get Blake Snell. Nice pickup. And as of now, it appears that they are very close to finalizing getting Yu Darvish as well. So definitely indications that the Padres are going all in based on their sort of, offensive resurgence last year with the lineup they had out there on the field. That was definitely the weak spot, adding to the starting rotation. We'll see. I mean, not bad to have some excitement here. Just have, being around these Padre fans. I'm still a Dodger fan. I'm not overly concerned, but they're making the right moves. I think they're in they're definitely the second best team if the Darvish deal comes through. And if, at least on paper going in, we don't know what's going to happen when the season actually starts, but the Giants just annoyingly somehow win 95 games. I don't know, but I doubt it, but who knows with them.
Who knows? They have Farhan. They have Farhan at the wheel, so it's something that maybe they will pull it off. Who knows?
Farhan, take the wheel. Thank you, Justin, for loving my Preller graphic, Preller bomb. But then you just see that guy coming in like the Terminator. He's like, "Hey, what's up, guy? Yeah, I'm just calling the Tigers right now."
There's nobody on the Tigers for him to trade with. Come on.
He's a wheeler dealer, man. He's unassuming. That's how he creeps up on you, and then boom, he's got your best guy for nothing. But just a little excitement here, for the San Diego fans, and something to get fired up about in the NL West as I get out my T-shirt / towel to cover my computer. But I see we are 2 minutes over time here, so thank you guys for bearing with us. Apologies for the weather. I don't control the weather yet, but working on that. Working on maybe a bigger tent to go outside of this tent. But we will get back with you guys on Wednesday. Be safe. Be dry wherever you are. And we'll hit you up on Wednesday. Tyler, what else you got?
No, that's it, guys. Just stick around. I think Patrice, hopefully her show has already started, but definitely stick around for the Book Lover TV with Patrice. Sorry for going long, but again, we had a little issue. We had some weather issues to start the show.
You see what I'm dealing with here on the graphic?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will have our final show of the year on Wednesday, technically, and then the first show of next year on Friday. So we look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you. You guys know the drill. Keep the fire.